Hello, everyone, and welcome to AudioSummary. Here, we break down your favorite books and movies into short, powerful audio stories, so you get the heart of the story fast. If you love storytelling, but don't always have the time, you're in the right place. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and let's dive right in. The Accountant 2 to 2025. The film begins with Ray King, played by J.K. Simmons, sitting in a bar during bingo night. A young woman named Anais, portrayed by Daniela Pineda, enters and approaches Ray's table. Meanwhile, several men working for a man named Burke, played by Robert Morgan, are watching them closely. Ray shows Anais a photo of a family from El Salvador, the Sanchez's. She thinks he's asking her to kill them, but Ray explains that he's actually trying to find them. He was hired by the father of the wife, Edith. Suddenly, Ray realizes they're being watched. He tries to flee and ends up killing two men in the bar before the patrons panic and run. As Ray escapes into the street, he is gunned down. Marybeth Medina, a Treasury agent played by Cynthia Di Robinson, learns about Ray's death. At the morgue, she identifies his body and sees the words, "Find the accountant," written on his arm. Christian Wolff, played by Ben Affleck, is seen communicating with his handler, Justine, portrayed by Allison Robertson. Before heading to a speed dating event, Christian prepares his own dating algorithm to determine his ideal match. However, when the women meet him, they're put off by his behavior and quickly lose interest. Elsewhere, Burke and his top enforcer Cobb, played by Grant Harvey, discuss Ray and Anais. They already know who Anais is. She previously interrupted a meeting where she killed 3 men, but spared Burke. Burke instructs Cobb to go to Fort Worth and eliminate anyone else investigating their operations. Marybeth continues Ray's investigation. She finds documents that lead her to Chris and contacts a neuroscience academy connected to him. Justine, listening in, learns that Ray has been killed. Later, Chris meets Marybeth in a parking lot, where they examine Ray's research. They uncover photos of dead Chilean ex-Special Forces members and a tax return from Edith Sanchez. They also learn that Edith's father, Emiliano Gonzalez, played by Alberto Mangaro, has just been murdered in Fort Worth. Chris and Marybeth visit a pizza factory where Edith once worked. The manager, Ike, played by Michael Turek, is evasive. Chris accuses him of laundering money and forces a confession after a physical confrontation. Ike admits he gets money from a man named Tomas, played by Lombardo Boyar, who is tied to a trafficking ring. Meanwhile, Chris's brother Braxton, played by John Bernthal, is trying to adopt a corgi puppy, but is told he has to wait. Later, Brax is on a job killing some targets when Chris calls him for help. Despite their strained relationship, Brax eventually agrees to meet up. At a motel, Brax joins Chris and Marybeth. They pay 3 women for information on Tomas. 2 leave in fear, but one stays and asks for extra money to escape Tomas's grasp. When Tomas arrives, Brax throws him off a balcony, and they stuff him into Marybeth's car trunk. She's frustrated, but Justine helps by rerouting traffic to avoid law enforcement. Meanwhile, they learn about the deaths of Edith's husband, Gino, and the disappearance of their son, Alberto. The next day, the group contacts Justine, who activates her hacker network to locate Anais using security footage from across Los Angeles. They find an image of Anais captured in the background of a selfie taken by a woman named Pamela. Despite Marybeth's concerns about privacy, the hackers access Pamela's laptop and retrieve the photo. From this, they track Anais's movements across the globe and connect her to a string of assassinations targeting criminal organizations. Marybeth also discovers that Chris and Brax were responsible for some of these killings. Uncomfortable with their methods, she decides to continue the investigation on her own. Marybeth and an attorney later confront Tomas and his lawyer, but before Tomas can testify, Cobb kills them both with a sniper rifle. Justine informs Chris about a past car accident involving a woman who suffered memory loss and underwent facial reconstruction. As Chris and Brax grow closer, they spend time together at a bar. Chris even gets the attention of a waitress named Angie, played by Dominique Domingo. After a confrontation with Angie's ex-boyfriend, Brax helps Chris fight off the man and his friends. Chris ends the night with Angie's phone number. Marybeth continues digging and uncovers that the woman from the accident, now known as Anais, was originally Edith Sanchez. After her accident, she developed acquired savant syndrome and became exceptionally skilled at chess and later at killing. She turned violent and eventually escaped from a facility where she was treated. Chris finds out that Brax's current employer has ordered him to kill Marybeth. Chris rushes to save her, but Anais arrives first. After a fierce fight, Anais stabs Marybeth and prepares to leave. However, she sees a photo of herself as Edith with her husband Gino and son Alberto. This triggers painful memories of her trafficking and how Burke murdered Gino. Chris soon arrives and helps Marybeth. Burke, realizing the threat Anais poses, orders Cobb to gather the kidnapped children at their compound in Juarez and execute them. With Justine's help, Chris and Brax head to Juarez. As the children are rounded up onto a bus, the brothers launch a deadly assault on the mercenaries. Cobb escapes with the bus and Alberto on board. Chris and Brax follow. At a pit where the children are to be killed, the brothers arrive and kill the remaining mercs. Chris boards the bus and confronts Cobb, who tries to betray Burke to save himself. Chris and Brax shoot Cobb and rescue Alberto and the other children. As they drive the bus back, Brax insists they stop to pick up a stray cat. Chris had previously said he prefers cats. Meanwhile, Justine calls Anais and gives her Burke's location. She finds him coming out of the shower, and though he realizes she's there to kill him, she calmly picks up a large knife and follows him. Marybeth recovers from her injuries and returns to work. She calls a number that Justine is monitoring to thank her for helping save the children. She says that Ray would be proud. At the hacker's hideout, Alberto is welcomed, and we see Chris and Brax bringing him there to stay. Ray King was killed by ex-Special Forces men involved in a child trafficking ring in Juarez. His investigation into Edith Sanchez, now Anais, put him in their crosshairs. Treasury agent Marybeth Medina partners with Christian Wolff to uncover the truth. Along with Chris's brother Brax and help from Justine's hacker network, they expose the criminal operation and rescue the kidnapped children. Anais ultimately confronts Burke and gets her revenge. Marybeth, healed and vindicated, returns to duty knowing that Ray has been avenged. Thanks for listening to AudioSummary. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay curious. Until next time,